the wall came down 24 years ago, this year. You have lived in Eastern Germany and you were old enough maybe now in hindsight to experience the socialist state, and now you have been living in a capitalist state. How do you look back on those first 10 years? Was it?
It's I can't really compare that, because when you're a kid, like, your childhood should always be the happiest time of your life, you know.
And was it?
No matter. It was. Yeah. I mean, I don't say I'm not happy today, but I didn't face any suppression from a socialist regime or something like that as a kid, you know, because I was a kid. Of course, there were grown-up people and who had really problems, you know, also metal bands and stuff like that. I just wrote a doctoral thesis about that stuff. I'm a lawyer on university as well, and I did research on that stuff as well, and there were really like musicians and artists and everything going to jail for fighting for freedom of art, for example, you know, and also people who wanted to bring down the wall or fought for environment improvements in East Germany and stuff like that. Of course, those were the problems, but I would say it was a really happy time for me, and the wall came down just in the right moment, you know, so I could go out and be free and spread everything, and I wouldn't be sitting here in the Netherlands giving an interview if it still was behind the wall, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And your mom and dad?
Yeah.
What do they like life more now, or?
My mom and dad, I think they like life more now, but it was a really hard process for them, and I know that a lot of their friends don't like it more now, because they realize that luck doesn't mean having a really cool car and something like that, you know. They lost their jobs because East German economy couldn't compete with West German companies, and they just need East Germany as consumers, you know, not as producers. And that was a problem. So many people see now that actually the luck in your life means having friends and working together and, you know, maybe just sitting in your garden and stuff like that, you know. They dreamed of traveling in the world, you know, now they have the possibility, but they don't have the money. So they still sit in the same flat they said like 30 years ago. So that is, so these people are not luckier today. That is certainly an opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
for sure. But I don't share that, because I'm really a benefiter of the situation now.
No, of course, but if that's the general opinion among elderly Germans, East Germans,
yeah,
then it's a bit of a shame maybe, because they really fought hard to tear the wall down, and once now they're 24 years later, and maybe they regret it somehow.
They regret it because what they got was not what they wanted to do, you know. They wanted to improve their system and their state, you know. They didn't want to adapt Western European capitalism one-to-one, you know. That is not what they wanted. They, like, at least the people who were in the opposition back in the days in East Germany, you know, for sure, they wanted to have like something like a third way, you know, like a system that gives people freedom, is democratic, and works in economical ways, you know, like maybe economics and political systems are brought up in Scandinavia right now or something like that, you know. That was always the example. People and an opposition was looking into it in East Germany, yeah.
So yeah, what do you think of capitalism?
I think these are the last days of that system, you know. It's logical that like eternal growth doesn't work, you know. Back in the days, it was always set to zero, you know, like World War I, World War II, and then you could grow and grow and grow. But now wars would destroy too much of the wealth of the rich people, and so there are no wars in our territory anymore. And yeah, what's the way to set it to zero? You know, like just having what's the English word, inflation or something like that, that your money is worth nothing anymore. That is the only way, you know. But I'm really sure that this is not the end of development in political and social systems.
But what system will then prevail?
I hope for a better system, but maybe before that, before we have like the, I don't know, Star Trek paradise without any money and everybody loves each other, maybe we have a Mad Max scenery before that. I don't know. I don't want to have it, but that could be a possibility. I don't know.
You think so?
I'm not saying I think so, but I'm convinced that, you know, I'm absolutely convinced of that term of the homo economicus, you know, that people just change things if they have to change and if it brings the most effect and most profit, you know. People don't change things for reason. Not people as a whole, you know, not nations or companies. Some individuals do that, you know, like Gandhi, for example, or something like that, but not whole systems, companies, or people in general. You know, they don't change for reason. They only change for necessities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just an example. You know, like wind power, solar power will only be used very, very broad if like all oil and coal is gone. You know, that's a fact.